Do you know what makes you special? Follow and subscribe to the special Fallout series show now so you can find out. And enjoy the following episode of the special Fallout series show. Welcome back to another episode of the special Fallout series show. I'm your host, Mikey, and today we are talking about Fallout Season 1, Episode 8, The Beginning. Okay, and this is technically my instant reaction episode, but it's not really because this isn't an instant reaction. I watched this quite some time ago. You probably noticed that it's been quite a long time since the last episode. I don't know if it's been quite a long time, but it's been, longer than it would normally be between these Fallout episodes. And it just was a run of bad luck for me. I watched this episode and then I got sick. So I guess I'm looking when the last episode was. It's almost been 2 weeks, and yeah, what happened was I got sick, and I was sounding worse than a feral ghoul. So I had no voice. I could not record an episode, and then after that, the times where I would have normally been able to record an episode, my oldest son just had his 13th birthday, and so it was a very busy week, getting stuff ready for that, and then actually doing all like the birthday celebration stuff. So yeah, it's been almost 2 weeks since the last episode, but we're here now, and I'm here to talk about The Beginning, Episode 8 of the Fallout series on Amazon. And again, what a show! Another fantastic episode. And to me, as a video game player, it really felt like the video game, right? So, what does what does the ghoul say in this series? That the golden rule of the wasteland is that you're going to get sidetracked. You're not going to do the main story mission. You're going to get sidetracked along the way, and you're going to get, you're going to be dealing with all this other stuff along the way. Until you finally get to the main thing that you're going after. And that's kind of what this episode felt like, right? Like, we had a few episodes where, yeah, we're still technically on our way to try to get to what our main mission is, but we get sidetracked, and things pull us away. But this one, and that's why I say it feels like the video game, because the video game does that to you, right? You're feeling sidetracked. You're doing stuff that isn't part of the main storyline, but you might be working towards it. But then once you get to the main storyline, once again, because all the other stuff, it doesn't feel, it's still fun, it's still great, it's still moving the story along. You're learning lore about the world along the way, just like we did in the last 3 or 4 episodes. But now we get back to what brought us here in the first place, and it ramps up. It gets serious real fast, and the video games do that, right? You have a ton of side missions that you're doing along the way, and then when you finally decide, okay, I got to get back to that main story mission and finish that off, because I'm nearing the end here. Once you get to that end, it really ramps up. It gets serious, and that's what happens in this one. Where we start out like with this super serious tone, this episode right away, following Maximus as he's going back to the Brotherhood of Steel to present the fake head that he has, and they call him out on it being fake, and they want to execute him. And then Dane finally admits that, yeah, it wasn't Maximus that put the razor in my boot and injured me. Did it to myself so that I wouldn't have to go out into the wilds because I was scared. And then, so Maximus gets pulled aside to talk with Elder Cleric again here, and basically the cleric's like, hey, um, you know, I see potential in you. You wanted a home here, and you know, others have done what you've done. They wanted that. They wanted that armor, and basically, you know, have done similar things. So I know that you are willing to do and will do what it takes to, you know, get the job done on what I want done. So now you're one of us for real. And you know, Maximus, he's not looking too excited about it. Yeah, and then we cut back and we see Lucy. Uh, she's reached the destination. She's reached where Moldaver is, and yeah, they're getting ready to go in there. And then we cut back to, well, the beginning, and we see Cooper Howard, you know, aka the Ghoul, back before he was the Ghoul, and we see him again. He's attempting to, you know, enact his plan to spy on his wife's meeting while she's at work, so he can figure out what's going on. Because again, Moldaver told him, "Hey, you don't really know what your wife is up to over there, and what the Vault Tech company is up to." So we cut back to that, and then we cut back again to the present, and Moldaver she's there. She's got Lucy's father, Hank, in like a little jail cell, and Lucy hands over the head. Moldaver, you know, pulls out that little piece of tech, and you know, we see that it's like this, you know, powerful cold fusion thing that her company had invented. And then we're cutting back to Norm, and again, with all this serious stuff going on, it's Fallout. You know you're going to get some levity. You know you're going to get some comedy. So we go back to Norm, and we see what he. Now we finally get to see what he saw when he walked into Vault 31, and it's the brain of what was the character's name? Anyways, it's the brain version of gosh, what is that dude's name? Bud. Yeah, that's right. It's the, you know, Bud, just his brain in this little you know, on this little Roomba robot. And yeah, now we're figuring out the mystery again. We keep cutting back and forth here to the present and the past, the beginning, and we see Cooper again. He's gone inside the building so he can spy on his wife's meeting. And again, we got like this big round table of all the leading companies of the time, and they have you know, Vault Tech is proposing that, you know, they have 100 vaults, and you know what Bud's idea is, their biggest weapon is time, and they can use the vaults to hide underground while the world above, you know, goes to nuclear war and becomes a wasteland. And when things are ready, they can all reemerge and they'll rebuild the world in the way they want to. And yeah, all the companies, they're not quite with it, right? They don't quite get it. They go like, well, how do we really know that this is going to happen anyways? And what are we gonna do? So, Bud, he kind of says like, hey, well, I have my idea for what I wanted to do with my vaults, um, and Barb, uh, you know, Cooper's wife, Barb is like, and we propose that all of you can have a handful of vaults to try whatever experiments you want. And the reason we know that this is going to be effective and the world above will go to waste is because we can drop the bombs ourselves. We will start the nuclear war ourselves and ensure that it happens, and ensure that when this is all over, that there will be no competition. And of course, this really, really upsets Cooper because he is listening in on this, and he's very disappointed. He thought his wife was going to be the one that talks them out of whatever was going to happen here, and now he finds out, well, it's even worse than he thought, and his wife is the one proposing the idea. Again, we'll talk about it in another episode another time, but I don't really know if it's her idea or she just happens to be the one presenting it. But that's what goes on here. And then we find out more about Hank, Lucy's father. We see him from that time period. He comes to meet up with Cooper because he's a big fan, and it turns out he's one of Bud's buds in this program that Bud Askins came up with for his vaults. That's Vault 31, 32, and 33, where Bud is taking all these people from middle management and put them in a cryogenic sleep, and again, he's using time, having them awake when he needs to, and they're gonna be the ones to lead the world when this is when it's the right time, and they have all the time in the world because they can just sit it out and wait. And then Lucy's finding this all out at the same time. Lee Moldaver is telling her all about this, and then also telling Lucy about how you don't really know your father. In fact, your father he's the reason why your mother is gone and why Shady Sands is gone, because your mother was like you. She was smart and curious. She figured out there is a world outside and it is habitable, and she left the vault with you. And unfortunately, your father, that's just not a part of their plan, right? They don't want society up there. They're trying to destroy any resemblance of society that there was before, because they want there to be no competition when they resurface. And yeah, of course, you can imagine how upset this makes Lucy feel. And during this time, we cut back to Norm as well, and we see him finding out the same thing from the Bud brain at the same time. Yeah, so this is all very upsetting, of course. I mean, we know that Hank, he's the one that, he's the reason why Shady Sands got bombed. And again, Lucy's mom was there. So we come to find that, hey, there's this ghoul that's been sitting at the table with Moldaver this entire time, and guess what? That ghoul is Lucy's mom. And, you know, because she was left behind by Hank, he took his kids and brought them back into the vault and left her out there and bombed the place. Um, during this time as well, the Brotherhood of Steel, they show up here. They're fighting with Moldaver's people there, and Maximus shows up. Lucy is still, she's out of it. She's like in shock. So Hank calls over to Maximus to let him out of the cage, and he lets him out. Hank gets into this power armor, and Lucy's like, no, he's the bad guy. This is, it's his fault. He's the one that did Shady Sands. And Hank ends up knocking out Maximus, the ghoul. He's fighting with Hank, but he decides to let Hank go. And Lucy, of course, upset. She's upset about Maximus. She's trying to wake him up, but he's just completely knocked out. And the ghoul, offers Lucy to come with him and meet their maker. Right, for Lucy, she's got a chance to go meet their maker. And the ghoul, he has a chance to go find somebody who knows where his wife and child are, because that's what he's been doing this last 200 years, is trying to figure out where are they. We know that he was with his daughter when the bomb started dropping, but makes me curious. So did he drop off Janie with Barb and they went into a vault, but he wasn't welcome in anymore? And that's why he was outside and turned into the ghoul, and now he's just looking for where his wife and daughter are. That's something I am curious to know. Can't wait to find out. Yeah. So basically, Lucy's like, well, why did you let my dad go then when you had him? And he's like, well, I can track him. It'll be easier to track him to find where I need to go than killing him. So Lucy, she decides to go. She teams up with the ghoul, and they're gonna go find him. Again, before all this, see, that's my problem. It's been 2 weeks, and so I'm getting stuff out of order. But the other thing I should have mentioned here is Moldaver took the cold fusion tech that she had, turned it on. She got the Lucy was convinced her dad to give his access code, because that was the only way to be able to turn this on, was to get an access code from a minion from the vault tech. And so Lucy gets it from him, gives it to Moldaver, and she turns it on, and we see like all this power turn on in the city out there. Moldaver did get shot. She dies. Dane comes in at this time and finds Maximus, and then gives Maximus the credit for killing the leader. And then so now everybody's hailing Knight Maximus, and again, he's getting sucked right back into what he was just trying to leave, because during this time he was thinking, okay, I have Lucy now. I found Lucy. I've seen a vault. I love the vaults, and I love Lucy, so I have a chance to go be with Lucy in the vault. That's what he was thinking he was going to do. But now, at the end of this episode, we see that he gets sucked right back in, and now um and now he's like, deep back into being a Brotherhood of Steel, so much so that he's been, you know crowned a knight, and everybody is like praising him. And then we go back to Hank. We see him in the power armor, and he has reached a city. And if you're a video game player, you know that this is New Vegas. And yeah, it's looking pretty beat up. So that's another thing I can't wait to find out and have things confirmed on, because a couple of these Fallout games have like alternate endings. So we'll get to see in from the video games which of the endings that they and what lore that they are putting as like official canon for these things. So yeah, that's the way we end out. This is Hank arriving and on a hill and overlooking New Vegas. So yeah, I mean, just again, awesome episode, because like I said, this one, it got, overall it was a more serious tone. So that all the actors did a great job acting in this one. The action scenes were great. The cinematography was great for this one. Yeah, just again, another great episode. Did not disappoint for being the final episode of the season. I just wish there was more already. Like, I'm really hoping when we get season 2 that it's not just 8 episodes. Like, please, please make it 10 episodes. Even if they're gonna, again, dump them all at once and make us binge watch them, then I'm okay with that. Just give me more. I want even more, because it's so good. I saw a thing on social media now that from the last time that we talked about this, there has now been, last time I think there was like 65 million. Now it's over 80 million users have watched this show. So it's just continuing to grow, because word of mouth is out there that this is really good. So I can only imagine, now that everybody knows about it, that it's going to be like this right from the beginning for season 2. And again, hopefully we'll figure out, because I imagine since they did this one as a big dump, they're probably going to do it again for season 2. So I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to best do this to get the content out for you guys quickly on these instant reaction episodes, so that we can have discussion about them all together. Like I said, that's why I wished it was weekly from the beginning, because it is so good. They obviously spent a lot of money on it, so they should have known that it was going to be, I wish they would have looked at it like it was like that premium of a property, where it would come out weekly and it would be like a water cooler type of show. But yeah, we'll have to figure out a way to get the content out quick, so that we can have fun discussion, all together, as we're excited right after it comes out. Okay, but yeah, there you go. That's the end of this one. Now, I do have a lot of fun ideas to make more content while we're waiting for the next season. So be on the lookout for that. It'll probably be a couple weeks again before I get to one of those episodes. So we'll take a little break here, just for me to be able to, like I said, I have a lot of fun ideas. I just need time to, organize them and set it up the way I want it to be set up. And then we'll probably get on like a pretty good schedule of like releasing episodes weekly up until, just to hold us over for, Fallout content until the next season comes out. Hopefully, it's not going to take too long, but we'll see. we'll bring you news. We'll bring you all the fun content ideas that I have. So make sure you stay subscribed. And yeah, that's going to be this episode. So yeah, hit that subscribe button, leave the comments, let me know what you thought of this final episode. If you're a podcast listener, please hit follow, hit subscribe, leave a 5-star rating and a written review on Apple Podcasts, because that all helps the show grow. And yeah, you made it all the way to the end of this, so you have to know by now what makes you special. It's listening to the special Fallout series show. So until next time, stay special.